Hello, my name is Derek Paul, and I'm the executive pastor and founding director of Identify. But it wasn't always that way. As many of you know, I struggled with same-sex attraction and gender dysphoria, and I didn't even realize I dealt with gender dysphoria till after I got out of a support group. I was raised in a preacher's family, and I started experiencing same-sex attraction first when I was about 4 years old. Now, I don't remember everything, but I know some of the root causes, and there were multiple factors that brought me to a place of eroticizing older men. So these feelings that I had made me really confused. I thought that the Lord had made a mistake on me, and maybe I was supposed to be a girl, and He just put me in the wrong body. Now, back when I was experiencing this, no one even knew about gender dysphoria, and no one even talked about homosexuality very much. So at about 8 years old, after years of these secret thoughts that I was having, I was at a revival service at my dad's church, and I felt the fire of the Holy Spirit convicting me of my thoughts of lust and confusion. The evangelist said, "If you have something that no one can help you with but the Lord, then you need to come forward and ask for His help." And I knew that was me. I was on the front row, probably for the first time ever, being a Methodist preacher's kid in that little church in Fort Pierce, Florida, and I experienced a radical encounter with the Holy Spirit. I repented of my sin, and for a couple years, I didn't experience same-sex attraction or gender dysphoria. Now, I had a lot of the telltale symptoms. I, at that point, was effeminate in my voice and in my gestures, and even though I didn't feel the same way, people still treated me the same way. So by the time I got into middle school, I started having the feelings again, and it was worse. And I really felt like I was being traumatized. Being a preacher's kid, I didn't feel safe sharing with anyone that I was struggling with these issues, let alone my parents. If anyone knows how difficult it is to pastor a church, no one wants to add to any of that difficulty, especially if you're in the pastor's family. So I kept it a secret, and it only got worse. I got really involved in a fine arts high school and in the competitive cheerleading world. Cheerleading was helpful for me because I realized that my body was strong, even though I was a small guy, and there was a lot of benefit that God gave me with my body. So at about 7th grade, I accepted my masculine body, but it was the girls in cheerleading, the flyers and the dancers and all of that, who really got the attention. And this only solidified an idea in my mind that the beautiful people got the attention. So it really added to some of the ways that I would express myself and the ways that I would get attention. I kept this as a secret, and I didn't realize that the reason why people were asking me if I was gay was because I had effeminate behaviors and I was projecting those things. By the time I got to college, I was really good at cheerleading, and I got asked to be on the competition team for the University of South Florida. And if anyone is familiar with competitive cheerleading, you know that there are certain circles in that industry that are very, very sexualized. So I would get hit on regularly, and I was fit, and I realized that I may always struggle with these issues, and I had two options. I could go to my deathbed quietly struggling with these issues, or I could quietly protect the Christian community by leaving and going into the lifestyle and living a double life. Well, I ended up meeting a really on-fire Christian. Most of you know her. Her name is Chantel. And she was doing a lot of the work in her own life that I needed to do. And she was a really good Christian to me. She loved me selflessly as a friend. And I quickly realized that there was no one in the gay lifestyle that knew how to love someone like that. I had been around the gay community since I was in 7th or 8th grade, and I just knew that the people who get spotlighted, promoted, and the attention in the gay community weren't at all the quality that I was seeing in Chantel. So I started hanging out with her more and more, and I confessed to her my struggle with same-sex attraction. And she was the first Christian to ask me what I had done about it. I didn't know I could do anything about it. So she began to get testimonies for me to watch, and she would make me watch these testimonies of overcomers leaving homosexuality and see what their life had become. And I saw people like Cy Rogers, who was married. I saw Dennis Jernigan, one of the most prolific Christian songwriters of all time, who is married with multiple children. I saw Stephen Bennett. And I realized maybe I'm thinking about this all wrong. Maybe God can heal and transform my life too. And that was really the beginning for me of coming clean, fessing up with these secrets I had been holding on to, with these vows that I had made with myself. And over time, the Lord started processing those things with me and bringing me into a place of more and more abundance in Him. A few years into the process, my wife and I were married, and I knew what both lives would look like, or so I thought. I knew what it would be like if I went into the lifestyle, who I would hang out with, what clothes I would wear, where I would live. And at the same time, I started to see how the church could be there for me and what it would look like if I chose the Lord and to walk in purity and integrity and just a commitment to never give up on the Lord or my wife. And the Lord gave me the grace and the strength to make a decision for what you are now seeing, which is a decision for the Lord and for my marriage. Eventually, the Lord called me to this ministry, and it has been the joy of my life to experience the abundant life that God promises, both at home and in ministry and in this community. I want to thank you so much for listening to my testimony today, and I pray that you will see me continue to transform into the man that God is creating me to be. Will you walk in the light with Identify Ministries so I can help people identify with Jesus who don't?